Yeah.
Yeah, he says he hears you fine because he's also in there. If you get it,
Okay.
I mean, what's great is that you do have your video working, so you can still see my screen. You can see my screen, right? All right. I mean,
Yeah.
look, it's not perfect, but we're gonna get it
No,
working.
it'll work.
It'll work. It will definitely work.
Yeah.
It's not what you wanted, but we're going.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It is what it is. You're just going to have to. I may have to.
Okay,
ask
we're
you
live.
questions.
Okay, we're no problem. We're live now. Record on the computer. So,
Okay.
okay, no
All
problem.
right.
Look, we've had some interference, folks. Sorry that we are late. Welcome everybody. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I hear everything you're saying. So,
Okay. Good.
because
I hope so.
we are live, everybody. So, hi everyone. Welcome to the
Hello,
GoldFish
folks.
Report. I'm your host, Louisa. Today is Saturday, April 11th, 2020, and this is GoldFish Report 479. We're talking tonight with a friend of the GoldFish Report, someone who's been here before and who's returning tonight, Duncan O'Finian. He is super soldier, he is a wizard and paranormal specialist. And we're going to be talking about everything you want to know about this spiritual war that's going on right now. And Duncan is pretty much seeing it all. And I know he's got a lot of messages for us tonight. We've had some issues with our connection and internet. Sorry that we are late with our live stream, but we are here, and Duncan is joining us by audio on another device. So, Duncan, thank you so much for being here and joining me tonight on this Saturday night of April 11th. We just had a full moon. We have a lot of reports of a lot of things happening right now. Why don't you start out and take it from here, my friend?
We're trying here. I've never had this kind of problem. Hi, she says hi.
Hi, Susan. I love you. You're so sweet. Our sweet Susan. Aw, she's so sweet.
The last time I did Zoom was actually on this laptop. Yeah, I know. And there was no problem with it, whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the way things stand right now, I cannot see the chat room. So
Okay. No, nobody. Yeah, you guys don't see the chat room. I see it, so I see the questions, and I'll ask the questions, and I want to also thank James Borg. Hi, James from Euphoria Chronicles. Thanks for being in the being moderator tonight in the live chat. So we do appreciate that. We know that you're a good bouncer, and you're going to bounce anybody who's disrespectful, rude, or vulgar in any way. So thanks, James Borg, for being here.
Give me a name and address, and I'll take care of it.
Yeah, Duncan, you're busy. You got a lot of work to do. It started with Bill Gates, I think you said before.
Oh, Bill Gates. I jokingly told someone a few hours ago I like to kick Bill Gates in the ass. The problem is that doctors got his family so far up there, you have to kick him in the ass first to get to Bill Gates. So,
well,
for what it is.
You're so outspoken, Duncan. Duncan,
look, I put this song up about an hour and a half ago on Facebook. George Thorogood, one bourbon, one shot, one beer. Get ready. Let's do this thing.
Well, what brought you out tonight? What was really going on? I saw your Facebook post that apparently, the Dark didn't get the memo about this.
Yeah.
And
honestly,
mm-hmm.
I kept getting messages from people because you and I talked about it before. I was pretty much done. I just didn't want to do interviews anymore. Didn't want to talk anymore, and on. Just want let things ride out and just move on. But there was a lot of people, a lot of really good people, a lot of friends of ours that were texting and messaging and emailing and on and on and on. And so I finally said, okay, I'll do it. Okay. So here we are. I do, before we get into anything real deep, is Lisa and Pat in the chat room?
Duncan's looking for Lisa and Pat. Is anybody there? Yeah, the mic volume. I'll see if I can turn up my mic volume. That will probably help as well. Okay, let me know if that's better, guys, okay? You're looking for Lisa and who else, Duncan?
Pat.
Lisa and Pat. If you're there.
From
Wisconsin.
From Wisconsin.
Let us know if you're there, guys. It might take a few minutes. They might not be there yet. Yeah.
Okay, how the hell are we going to start this? We've done, you and I, and Susan have done several interviews and whatnot where we've talked quite a bit about my past and whatnot. Well, the thing that I've always said, I've always maintained, is I was involved in a lot of things that I've never talked about. And mostly I probably would never talk about. Until now.
Okay.
Because some of those things entailed my being security in certain rooms, certain buildings, etc. With a lot of these people where I was, my job was to keep them safe and secure while they had permission. And we're talking back from 1983 back through the mid-70s. Counting back in reverse. So I actually was privy to a lot of these meetings about things that are going on right now. Now, the so-called COVID-19 virus, it's a real virus. It's just, imagine it being a common cold with a shot of steroids. Mm-hmm. There's more to it than that. It also has genetic markers in it. Mm-hmm. It's not killing millions of people. It's not killing thousands of people a day in the United States, New York, and so on and so forth. It is. And before anybody starts trying to jump down my throat on that, I would advise you to go and look up some of the laws that Barack Obama signed into law before he left office. One of them is a bill, a House Democrat bill, that flatly states that it is now legal for the United States government through the United States media to employ propaganda to control the citizenry of the United States.
Right, the Smith.
You don't believe me? Go look it up.
No, it's the Smith-Mundt Act, and we talk about it a lot on the GoldFish Report. The Smith-Mundt Act was the law that banned the government's use of propaganda, but then in 2012, President Obama overturned that. He repealed it, rather, is what it's more appropriate. I just wanted to let you know, I know that this is live, but yeah, I am holding it like it's right on, my cell phone is right on my thing. I just sent you guys. Yeah.
Listen, I'm telling you.
I just sent you.
But we're going to do this for a while.
Right, but I just sent you, if you want to stop for a break for a minute, I just sent you a phone number that you can call in on, and you can connect in on by your phone as well. So if you want to do that.
I'm afraid to click off of anything right now.
Yeah. I mean, actually, you can always just call me back on my phone that we're on right now. But I just sent you a phone number that you can call right into the Zoom room for. So if you want to do that, your audio can then be on on the screen. It just might show your phone number. I don't know if you want that. It might show your phone number. I can try to.
Don't laugh at the glasses.
We all do. I mean, look, I wear mine all the time.
So what do I do? Click on this?
No, it's a phone number. You just call in and you put in that code. That's the code, and you'll come right into the your audio will come right into this room right here. You can call in by phone. Okay? Okay, great. Thanks. So guys, we're just trying to get this set up for everybody because we had some interference tonight, not surprisingly. Of course, I did my smudging. So just bear with us for a minute because we're trying to get Duncan's audio set up a little bit better on here. Okay, he's going to call in But we had some problems, definitely. Yeah, I had my, yeah, I definitely had that. Hi, Sherry. Hi, everybody. Hi, Karen. Hi, L Food, Linda Hartman. Hi, everybody. Freedom, Zeter. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, Duncan's going to try to join us by phone. So just bear with us 1 minute, okay? Because I think we're going to be able to do this. I think we're going to get it. He'll end up have to put the code in. Yeah, it's going to be okay. We're going to get it there. I just need some more espresso. I think I'll be okay too. There you
Okay,
go.
how's that?
Good.
Hallelujah. Something worked tonight.
Perfect.
Something tonight worked. Hallelujah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to, actually, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to change the view that we have here. Is there any way I can block that? I don't know. Let me see.
Don't worry about it.
No, I think it's okay.
I get so many freaking.
Can I try that?
We're good.
Don't.
We're good.
Okay.
I think we're good. Except your phone, Duncan, except your phone number is on the screen.
I don't care.
You don't care? Okay.
I'm trashing his phone number pretty soon anyway. I don't care.
Excellent. So guess what? We have your voice. We have your voice in the Zoom room. So we have your audio directly connected, and we also have.
You don't want me to click on that?
No.
Your audio.
It's fine. Okay, cool.
I'm trying to do what I can to remove the image, but it's.
Don't worry about it.
I don't know. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
I just don't want when you put this on to YouTube, this is what everybody sees.
Yeah, it might be. I'm checking it out.
God.
No, I'm looking at it right now, and I don't see the number, so it's good. It's good.
Okay.
No, everybody.
Well, it's everybody else is seeing it. I'm seeing it. Sorry, guys. Hey, look, we're working here. Okay, we're trying.
Is this your work phone number? I hope. Actually, Duncan, your phone number is on the screen. If you don't want it, then we can disconnect.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
Jeez. But you know what? At least your voice is on
right.
there. I apologize. I don't think there's anything I can do to stop that other than sorry folks.
Don't worry about it.
We're just trying to overcome some technical difficulties that we've been having tonight. Okay, everybody says it's better. Okay,
good.
Okay, excellent. So let's start back at the beginning. Apologize for the delay, folks. We just had some technical problems, and we know when we're going live, these things happen, and it's not like we can edit this. We are live, and so that's how we have to deal with it.
And it's not only going live. It's anytime you deal with my butt, this crap happens.
Yeah. Well, I did my smudging beforehand, so
yeah. I slung my spell, so
yeah. Good.
We'll hope it holds.
So look, we're talking about this hidden enemy, the president's talking about. We're talking about the spiritual war that we're in. And I know that you and Susan do a lot of work to remove, to deal with things that are in the esoteric. And you're seeing, I know even the last time we spoke, you're seeing a lot of really, maybe you should tell everybody what you're encountering right now.
Well, unfortunately, we haven't worked in the field in over a month since this entire COVID-19 coronavirus BS nonsense. However, to speak to what you're asking, we've, over the past couple of years, have seriously been dealing with a tremendous amount of energetic influences. We call them anything from mind frickers to spine frickers, depending on the response that we get from them as we're trying to pull them out. Yes, everybody's saying this. Hey, I don't care. Sorry.
Okay.
No.
Well, okay. Well, then quit. There's a tremendous amount of interdimensional work that's going on. Everything that we're experiencing today is not from here. Just, you know, plant your feet down and expect to experience this much, much more. We're dealing with interdimensional stuff, whether you can, if you want to put it out as alternate timelines, parallel timelines, or a completely alternate universe. That's what we're dealing with more than anything else. Demonic influence, I would say absolutely, without a doubt, yes, it's increased. And again, I'll restate, we haven't worked on anybody in over a month. So as to 30 days ago today, my guess is everything has multiplied at least by twofold, if not more. So it's going to be really interesting when we go back to work in a few days and see exactly what's going on. The whole coronavirus, COVID, whatever you want to call it. Look, guys, this is BS. This is total BS. It's all propaganda. I am not saying that people aren't dying out there. So I don't want anybody to instantly start filling the chat room. Oh, he's full of crap. He's saying nobody's dying. Yes, people are dying. We have cold and flu seasons. People die. Pneumonia. Absolutely. Okay. However, all of this COVID-19 nonsense is just that. It's nonsense. This is propaganda. This is what I heard in one of the meetings that I was in years ago. They called it phase 1. This is phase 1. Do a total fake pandemic, scare people to death, push everything up to the brink, right up to the brink, just short of total of civil war, of things breaking out in violence, and then pull it back.
So are you talking about the New World Order agenda, Duncan?
It doesn't matter. You know, we can call it the New World. What the hell? I'm sorry.
Okay.
This laptop's it's got a mind of its own. And when I get my good one back, I'm going to pick this thing out and throw it up in the air and see how many times I can shoot it before it hits the ground. There are so many fingers in the kitchen right now. There are so many games being played. You have two major groups, dark group, light group. Okay, we've always known that. That is your given. That's the go-to. The problem is there have been so many splinter groups over the past 50 years, nobody really knows who's playing on whose team. So
that's a problem. That is a problem because
that is a major problem.
Because
that's
when you look
a major problem.
Well, when you look at the press conferences and you see, by the way, I was able to remove your number and put your name there instead. So
that's fine.
So, but it
Thank you for that, but
it has been out. But folks, you know, if you were on early and you didn't see that, because I might try to edit this. I don't know. I don't think I can. But if, you know, please.
That's fine.
Be,
I can expect a whole lot of text tonight. That's okay.
Sorry about that. Okay, so you can see that, you know, Fauci stands next to Trump and wants to, you know, clearly they have different agendas. Do you know what I mean? President Trump's trying to put out the information on what the treatment is, the hydroxychloroquine and the azithromycin and zinc.
Yeah,
and then you have the, you know, Fauci trying to say, oh, well, you know, it's not clinical trials, blah, blah, blah. But then, you know, he kind of put it on the fast track and got this approved. So they don't like Trump right now.
Fauci needs to be turned over, bent down, and a good size 12 boot shoved straight up his ass. I'm just going to be honest about that. Okay? If we ever talked about conflict of interest, you're looking at it.
True.
Fauci and Bill Gates, are you kidding me? if there was ever a reason for conflict, go ahead and move this. We've got people coming by.
Yeah.
If there was ever a reason to call out conflict of interest, that this is it.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah. I mean, they are revolving door. It's the revolving door. You go from the senior executive services, you go from working in an administrative post at the CDC to then going through the revolving door of the, head of the pharmaceutical company, and then going back to the CDC. So it's that revolving door, and it's kind of like it.
And you're dealing with all these NGOs, non-governmental offices.
Yeah.
Organizations. All these people are not part of the government,
right,
but yet they exert such a tremendous influence on the government, through congressmen, senators, representatives, so on and so on, and in the past presidency, even up to the presidency.
Yeah.
Now, I am being totally non-political here, okay? My college major was political science. My minor was computer math. Yeah, I know a little bit about programming and I worked on political campaigns, and I've been in the back where the votes were counted with a shotgun, telling the guard to hold place, et cetera, et cetera. I know how politics work. There is nothing fun about politics. It is absolutely the dirtiest, nastiest profession anybody could ever be in. So with that being said, let me just state my position. I am not a Trumper, all right? I like Donald Trump. I have no problem saying that. I like the guy. I like a lot of what he says. There are also times when I think he needs to be quiet just a little more. But at the same time, you have to look, as Susan has taught me over the years, you have to look at their astrological chart and their signs. He is a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. I got a big damn mouth. I can't shut up. Neither can he. So, there's some kinship there. And his IQ is extremely high.
It is.
That's been talked about for the past almost 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
People with extremely high IQs sound like they talk in BS riddles because they're saying things that make sense to them in the moment that may not make sense to everybody else. Sorry about that. Some of us people just do that. Yeah. It's just the way it is. I do think he is in the fight of his life, and honestly, I do think he is in a fight for his life. Mm-hmm. I think the COVID-19 was let's call it a buzz bomb. Anybody out there listening know what a buzz bomb is?
A buzz bomb. It takes a minute for people to respond, yeah.
That's fine. They don't have to.
Okay.
A buzz bomb is something that you create on the fly in just a couple of minutes to buy you some time, to gain you some ground. See, when I was in the projects and I was being the bodyguard, the security, et cetera, for a lot of these people who were doing, masterminding these programs, I was privy to all this information. The problem was, and still is, they talked about phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, part 1, part 2. You're talking about and you're dealing with people that plan decades ahead. Okay? Yeah. The military general Lao Sung would plan decades ahead. Well, that's exactly what these people do. I always knew they were going to throw something out there. I just never knew exactly what they were going to throw. Well, they decided to go with the virus angle. Phase 1, it's a hoax. It's a total hoax.
So then what's it a cover for if it's a hoax?
It is a cover to freak the crap out of everybody. Okay.
What's the goal? What's the aim then? I mean, what do they gain by? What do they gain by that?
That's easy. The goal is to get as many people as they can to take the vaccine, to take the chip, and to move on. This is only phase 1. This is about completely and totally eroding away your freedoms. We talked about this before.
But
this what they've done here over the past 60 days, or let's just say 6 weeks. They took an astronomical leap. I did not. Susan and I were talking about this, and I'm going to say it. I am shocked. I am totally shocked at how fast, how quickly they accomplished this.
Yeah. Overnight almost, basically.
With nothing but propaganda.
Right.
Nothing but propaganda. Yet they have shut the entire world. Forget the United States. Except for Sweden and a few countries in Africa, they've shut this entire planet down on propaganda and nothing more. Mainstream media blowing shit out their ass. A few, whatever governor of this state, that state, Michigan. Oh, don't get me started on that woman. I'd like to see her hung for treason. And I can go right down the list.
But do you think Trump is on the is he going along with the agenda
No.
Completely? I see.
No, I don't.
Okay. That's why you say he's in a fight for his life. Yeah.
He is in a literal physical fight for his life. Look, I know because I really publicized this talk tonight, and I have a tremendous amount of friends and acquaintances that are way over on the left, okay? And they hate Trump.
Well, of course.
I'm sorry about that. What can I do about it?
Right, of course.
Okay. But let's just put all this aside for just 1 minute. Put it all aside, okay? Take the politics out of everything. Can you not see the game that is being played? Any person with common sense, and like Susan has told me years ago, and it's as true now as it was then. Common sense ain't that common anymore.
No.
They
hasn't been for a while.
No, it has not. They shut this country down on propaganda. No one even asked, is this true? Why? Is there nothing else we can do? No one asked. It was just instantaneous. Do what you're told. Do what you're told.
Right. I have some people in the live chat who are saying Sweden is there's no shutdown there in Sweden.
Exactly. Yes, I saw that. I did a couple hours research before we came on here. And that was one of the things that I saw is Sweden did not shut down. They have done what is called herd inoculation. That is when people gather in groups, just like animals. Everybody becomes inoculated. It's nature. That's the way nature's designed to behave.
Duncan, do you have a light you could put on out there? Because it's getting a little dark by you. No? If not, it's okay.
I don't. I'm looking.
Okay.
A light.
It's getting a little dark.
I think we're probably at lights in right now.
Yeah.
No, that won't help anything.
I can see the sunset going down.
Yeah, I know.
Still have some light.
Come on, it's Houston, Texas. What do you expect?
Houston. How funny. Last time I was in Houston, it was pretty cold.
You've been here. You've been to Houston.
Oh, that was funny. It was cold that time I was there, huh?
Oh, it was 82 degrees here today. We've been doing anywhere from 5 to 7 mile walks every day. We're both sunburnt.
Yeah. Yeah, Sweden, though, someone's saying, you know, they're a very disciplined country. You know,
Yes.
I'll tell you, yeah, but they're disciplined. You mean you're going to just let them lead you into the slaughterhouse? That's what you mean by that, because the cabal is very, very controlled. You know, they have great control there in Sweden, which is, you know, where a lot of cabal are. So
absolutely. You see,
yeah.
Here's the problem. We all hear that name, that word, the cabal. Okay. We hear it every day. Every time we sign on to the internet, in one form or the other, we hear the cabal. So what we have to do is, yeah, my hair's got long. It's got gray. It's white. Sorry. Who the hell's the cabal? Who the hell are these people? And I'm asking this as a rhetorical question to everyone listening, because I want people to stop and think. All you guys read and you think the cabal, the cabal, the cabal. Well, ask yourselves, who the hell is the cabal? Who makes up the cabal? For us, on the side that most of us are on, they're the bad guys, right? Doesn't matter if they're bankers or they're lawyers. It doesn't matter. They're the bad guys, okay? So then you've got us over here who think we're on the right. We're on the side of good. We're on the side of light and all this and that. Here's the fundamental problem. We're not fighting good versus evil anymore. And I've talked about this, that day would come when that's done, that's gone.
Wait. What do you mean we're not fighting good versus evil anymore?
We're fighting ideologies. We're fighting stages and frames of mind. What people need to understand, these, let me just call them what I want to call them, okay? Low-life scumbag, some bitch, motherfucker, idiots, okay?
Bleep, bleep, beep, beep. It's okay,
that's who I'm referencing are most of the Democrats, Bill Gates, all of these, all of them, who are on the side of eugenics, so on and so forth. Yeah, that is my view of them. However, what we have to understand, right now, the battle has changed. We're not just fighting good versus evil. We're fighting against ideology. Because right or wrong, up or down, they think they're right. They think what they're doing is good. So they think if they're right, they're good, we're wrong, we're evil. Okay, does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, it's actually a little confusing because, you know, we just had a video come out on YouTube called Out of Shadows, and it's very interesting. And if people haven't seen it yet, I'm going to actually put the link. It's very, very interesting. And you know, I don't know. I think we're still dealing with a lot of evil. I have received reports, Duncan, and let me know if there's any way you can confirm this. I've received reports that they've been rescuing children out of these tunnels.
Yes.
About 40,000 children have been rescued. Some of them are deformed because they've never even seen light of day. Their eyes are deformed, or there's deformities of many kinds. Some pictures are just heartbreaking and horrific. I have seen a few. What do you, I mean, it's time to, and so the battle is underground. The battle is in these tunnels. There's a lot of destruction going on in these tunnels as well. They're trying to destroy them. What can you tell us about that?
I have been in numerous of these underground facilities. And to back up just a little bit, there has been an evil unleashed on this earth that has not been seen in millennia. That is an absolute fact. Believe me, look, guys, you have to understand you have to understand the experience that I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It is not. Okay, let me back up. I'm choosing my words very carefully right now.
Okay.
We'll get into some fun and games with Lisa and Pat a little bit later. We're in a time frame of where every person on this planet, every living soul is going to be forced to make a decision, left or right. I talked about this 20 years ago. I've come full circle. I talked about this 20 years ago. If anybody remembers that first video I did with Terry Cassidy, Bill Ram, Project Camelot, way the hell back, when I said there is that third group, you have the left and the right, but you have that third group that is holding both sides back. So neither side can go past the boundary. They can only go so far, right? Okay, that group, the group that, I've never said this before, the group that I was part of, the Gray Walkers, we've been released from our bonds. The group is no more.
Well, that's great.
It is full on war.
Oh, I see.
We can't hold anything back anymore because we acted as a group. Imagine North Pole, South Pole, a circle like this. We held things back. The left side, the dark side, the right side, the light side. Each side wants the same. But look, they want the same damn thing. They both want control.
They want control, right?
Okay? And even in that interview, first interview, all those years ago, I said, there is that middle group. I didn't say then that I was part of it because I wasn't allowed to. We were disbanded a couple of years ago. We don't exist. We only exist as individuals. And we were told many, many years ago that during this time we would all have to make our own choices of which side we would go. Left or right, dark or light, up or down, triangle, square, circle, hex, whatever. Okay,
Right.
Just trying to be cute with it.
So you're saying there's no gray anymore. There's no gray anymore. You had to make a choice.
There's no gray. There's no gray. There is no Gray Walker unit to hold the balance. We're done. We're gone. We've been gone for a couple of years.
So
you can expect everything that we've been experiencing since the beginning of 2020 to escalate higher and higher and higher. You guys, you ain't seen nothing yet. You can expect major earthquakes, volcanoes, astrotheology. I suggest you go look it up because you're going to start seeing a lot of things in the sky. It is not going to be pretty.
Be more specific. What do you mean by what's in the? What are we going to see in the sky? We're going to see this other planetary system coming through? Is that what
you're going to see? You're going to see a lot of things. What is it we have right now that they're calling the comet known as Atlas? What? Atlas 19. It's amazing how the number 19 keeps being tossed around right now. Now, this is my opinion and my opinion only. The Hopi prophecies speak of two dancing Kachinas.
Right.
One green, one red. The comet that is supposed to be coming through this month, that is supposed to be visible to the naked eye, is green. It's copper. Copper burns as green. Anybody that's done welding knows that. You try and solder copper, it burns green, right? Well, it's not a comet, it's an asteroid. Just NASA needs to get over itself. That's one. You got to watch for the second one. And I'm not going to go into the whole Hopi prophecy. Everybody can go look it up, see what it says. If the green Kachina finds enough righteous people on the globe, it will pass over its judgment, so on and so forth. If it doesn't, it will bring in the blue Kachina, which does its judgment, which means massive death. Which brings me to the whole thing of Bill Gates, who we can't let Bill Gates go right now because Mr. Gates is front and center of all of the COVID-19 nonsense. Bill Gates owns the patent for the virus, correct?
Yes.
He owns the cure for it, correct?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, he certainly would. If he has the patent, he would have the antidote, but there may be other ways to create an antidote, though, yeah.
I'm sure there is. However, just going through with the conversation, yes, I have read that he does own the patent on the antidote.
Okay.
So let's just go by that, okay? Come on. The politicians, the media, they don't deal in facts, so why should we worry about dealing in complete facts, right? That's supposed to be funny. Somebody chuckle. I mean, you know.
Sorry, the live chat. There's someone making comment. Well, we're live, so there's people chatting in the chat section, and they're talking about the magnetosphere going haywire last night. 4 pulses. Yeah. So I don't know if you know.
Yeah, that's going to increase, and that's going to go beyond anybody's wildest dreams. The only thing I'm saying here is look who stands to benefit. Now, everybody keeps talking about, and look, I'm seeing this on Facebook, people talking about, Bill Gates. You know, with his money, his billions, he's helping us on, and all this and that. Well, if he owns the vaccine, everybody that gets vaccinated, he gets paid, correct?
I suppose he does.
Now, okay.
Royalties.
Okay. All right. Now let's move beyond that. Is not Bill Gates a eugenist?
Yeah. I think we common
So
knowledge.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, Bill Gates' father was involved with John D. Rockefeller in the creation of his eugenics foundation. So with that in mind, I would therefore submit that no one in a right frame of mind would take a vaccine from any of these people. You've got someone who is a proclaimed eugenicist who believes in a 30 to 50% reduction in human population, but yet suddenly he's all over the news saying I've got the vaccine. I'll have the vaccine. And with all that being said, he's pushing out. He is a non-governmental officer. He does not belong in government. This fricker doesn't even live in the United States. He lives on his own island somewhere. Give me the coordinates. I'll pay him a visit. However, with all that being said, he's, God, where can I go with this without going ape crap crazy and screaming? Stop listening to these people.
Which people?
Just straight up, stop listening to the Bill Gates, what's his name, Dr. Faluji, door knocker, butt licker, whatever his name is, and
Fauci.
All these,
Fauci.
Yeah,
Dr. Fauci.
Fudge water, fuckwater, whatever. Stop. Just stop. Use your own universal /God /this/that, whatever you want to call it. You were born with common sense. You were born with an innate knowing of right from wrong, up and down, left and right. You know that. Listen to it for a change. Stop listening to these blowjobs out there just going on and on and on. We've got to have another 10 weeks of shutdown. Oh, doesn't matter if it's going to totally decimate the economy, and hundreds of thousands of people are going to die from starvation. Never mind. We have to stop the coronavirus, which is what? Oh, yeah, it's just a bad cold. Really? Seriously. We shut down the entire United States on something that is listed and labeled as nothing more than a bad cold. Have we become, as a nation, as a people, as part of the human race, have we become that low to bow down to these bootlickers? I'm not. I'll be damned if I do. Okay, rant's over. I'm done.
No, okay.
Sorry.
Hey, let me just give a shout out to a few people. A Box of Monsters is in the house. We've got James Borg doing a great job at Euphoria Chronicles doing the moderation. Sorry, Slim Frank. I think it was just a misunderstanding. James didn't mean to block you. I think it's just a dialect thing. We misunderstood each other. Rob Potter's in the house. Hi, Rob. How you doing? And I just wanted to give a shout out to some people and say hello. But basically everybody's echoing, and everyone in the live chat is echoing what you're saying. They're using other names too to describe the people you're talking about as well. And you're really not getting any pushback at all. You know, Burks, I'm sorry, this woman Burks, who's also part of that whole genocidal thing. And what chance do humans have? I mean, obviously our free will, we do not consent to this. So we start out with, we do not consent, because isn't there some kind of cosmic law? I mean, okay, there's no gray walkers, but what the hell do humans, what can we possibly do? Why is it that we're stuck in a situation? We're in the middle of a battle, of a war for our souls, for us as resources to harvest.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. Well, I don't remember, my soul contract doing, agreeing to this. Is this something where we need to cancel our soul contracts?
I have been screaming for 20 years. I was drunk when I signed this contract, and I want a review, and I want to go home. Okay. One bourbon, one scotch, one beer. Right.
Yeah, right.
Look, let me explain things this way. Let me explain it to everybody the way it was explained to me.
Wait, let me just say 1 second. You're half in the dark and half in the light. So if you can move over to your right. No, if you can just move,
no control.
If you can just move over to your right a little bit.
God damn it. Let me see. Okay, I can do this.
just move to your right a little bit, and then you're right.
My
and
face
then,
is sunburned, so if it's red, don't worry about it.
No, you look like you have a healthy tan. No, but it's kind of dark.
No, it is. It's red. Okay, let me explain this the way the wisest person I've ever known explained it to me. Her name was Eliana. Mm-hmm. I asked her about all this. What's the deal? What's the deal with the human race, the human soul, et cetera, on and on. And I was having dinner with her in her hotel suite, and she actually paused and gave me a legitimate answer instead of just saying, shut up, don't worry about it, which is, mostly the answers I got. So keep this in mind. She said, quote, the human soul, each and every one, is akin to that of a normal small sun or a star. Compare that to a nuclear explosion. That is the power of each and every individual human soul. It does not matter if that soul dies with $0, buck naked, or dies in a $30 million mansion adorned with jewels. It does not matter. The souls are equal at death. They equal that of a star. This whole thing, left versus right, evil versus good, light versus dark, dark versus light, et cetera, it all comes down to the human soul. I've said this before. This is the fight. This is the goal. It's control of the human soul. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything else is propaganda or a means to an end. It doesn't matter.
I know, Duncan, but we've been doing this for so long. This is getting really old. And
I agree.
It's really,
I'm sick and tired of it.
It's, human beings are never going to be able to evolve to where we're, intended and deserve to evolve to if we're constantly being harvested and manipulated and used. Yeah.
If you're constantly being manipulated and lied to, those were my exact two arguments that I gave nearly 20 years ago when I was forced to make my decision on which side would I go with. Those were my exact arguments. Because one side was damning the human race because of this reason. My rebuke was, yes, but you people kept them down. You lied. You kept their history away, et cetera. That was my argument. And that's what I used. And that was over 20 years ago.
And then who are you arguing this with, and what was their response?
I was dragged into a council.
Okay.
Right out of my house, baby. I mean, right out of my house. They let me put some clothes on and some shoes on, and they stuck a black bag over my head, put me in the back of a limousine, and they drove me around for over an hour. This was my bar mitzvah, as it were. This is when I came to adulthood in my world.
How old were you?
Just turning 50.
Okay. I have that image too. If you want to let me know when you're ready to screen share that, not to.
Oh, whenever you want. Yeah, but, whenever you want. I just have to keep this laptop going.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. Pardon my language. Look, I'm sorry. It's been a
Duncan.
very long few days.
Hey, look, our viewers know it's raw Duncan when he comes on GoldFish Report. Duncan, I'd rather you be authentic, and I don't think there's any other way you could possibly be.
I can't.
I know.
Look, sweetheart, over the past several years, I have been given a lot of big offers to do a lot of big interviews, and I've turned each and every one of them down. I don't want anything to do with them. Mm-hmm. I'm straight up, and I told you almost a year ago, if I ever do another interview, it's going to be with you.
Well, thanks, Duncan. We're buddies.
Because I don't care about ABC. Screw them. The hell with me. I don't care. My crap, Susan called. Okay. Before we got married, many years ago, she had a friend that she was at her house, and I was out on a job. And so Sue calls me, and her friend grabs the phone, and we talk. And she goes, well, you're controversial. And my reply, yeah, and so? Well, you're just too controversial for her. And on. So after that, it became a running joke between Susan and I. She would call me, controversial ass. Oh, come on, let's go.
Yeah,
she would call me controversial ass. Well, you've heard her say that to me.
You know what, Duncan? We have someone in the chat here who says I've been having a shot every time Duncan says "feck."
Good luck.
So let me tell you. So look, but this is how real it gets. I mean, people complain about how raw GoldFish Report can be, but that's what it's about. We're looking for truth. We're not going to sugarcoat it. And
I don't do fake. Period. No. I don't do fake. That's right. Look. You guys all in the chat room. Everybody listening. Louisa. Look, Louisa knows me. Okay, she's came to Houston. Susan and I have worked on her. We spent a lot of time together. She knows us. We're straight up. We don't bullshit. There ain't no play. If we got something to say, we're going to say it. We're not going to candy coat it. We're going to tell you. You might not like this, but here's the way it is. Yeah. And that's what you get. We don't play bull crap with anything. We're at a time in history, in our lives, to where the bullshit's got to stop. Okay? Stop trying to chocolate cover a turd. It's not going to work. You bite into it, you still got a damn turd. Get over it. That's just life. That's the way it is. But this is what the media, half the government, all the NGOs, all these people, that's what they're feeding you. Right. Chocolate-covered turds. Quit biting. Yeah. Quit taking it. Mark that shit, return to sender. Give it back to them.
Right. So I still think that we're dealing with this invisible enemy. And Trump is very careful in his words, and because like yourself, Geminis are very, very always in the mind, and always analyzing.
Yes, we are.
I know, and and it's interesting for Trump because it's quite a challenge. He has to, because he has a high IQ, like you said, and he has to, but yet he knows he has to keep. Yeah. He has to be very simple in his conversation now that he's president, and especially now that he's doing his own press briefings, because he's so capable of it. And that's the thing about Geminis. You have the ability, Duncan, to really verbalize this and articulate this.
Okay.
Not everybody in the program did,
Let me go this direction. Okay. I did Jesse Ventura's True TV. Okay. I did one episode. We set the whole thing up, okay, let me preference this with, if you've ever seen it, wipe the concept out of your mind that it was early in the morning, middle of the night. Hell no. It was 11:30 a.m. in the morning. It was downpouring rain, hot as hell, and it was miserable. That's when we shot that whole scene, okay?
Mm-hmm.
However, Ventura did something that was dead on. We shot that whole first scene of where we face each other, and he asked this question. Ventura has a hell of a memory, okay? He was firing off question after question after question. I answered each and every one, and what I thought was as basic as I could answer. He backed up and yelled, "Cut." All right? After like 30 minutes of talk, 30 minutes of film. Mm-hmm. He said, "Come here." And he put his arm around me, and we walked over to the railing. We're looking down, and he says, "Look, your intelligence is way beyond what our audience can handle. Can you take it down to a 6th grade level? Because that is
right.
That is the range that most people can handle." And I looked at him and said, "Governor, no, I can't. I only know one way. It's to recite what I know." He said, "All right, let's try it." And it was take after take after take after take until, everybody got what they saw. So with that being said, what the president, and believe me, I give that position with some pride, with a lot of pride. He is having to think and stop and think and dumb things down so that about 60% of the mass can understand and begin to digest what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Let me ask you something. And that's the bottom line, is that we are dealing with people who are from all different education backgrounds and even, speak multiple languages, and so maybe aren't quite as fluent, in the English language. So it can be very complicated. I mean, quite honestly, communication is just, it is an issue. But
it's a tool. It's a tool,
sure.
But it can be an issue. Yes.
Yeah. We're working on our second hour now, Duncan, and I know you wanted to try to. We all have it. Have some Q&A, but but I want you to finish up. Let's just screen share this image here that you that you sent. It's not the clearest image, but this gives you a little bit of information, a little bit of background information on Duncan. And
I hadn't seen this in years.
You can explain this if you'd like you to do that, if you could.
Okay. What are we looking at? Okay. Me wearing the red beret with the huge arms. That is an M1 carbine paratrooper stock. I was at a gun club, and I was winning a lot of money that day. The helicopter, I have no idea. The picture of me wearing a hat and the loose choker, that was at a powwow. Scroll. The picture of me with the hair really brushed back, that was at my good friend's Dave Corso's.
I just lost it. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Do you guys still see it? I'm sorry, I have to stop screen sharing. I just lost the image for a second. Hold on. Let me get it back. Okay, here it is. Sorry about that. Let me go back into screen sharing. I'm going to go back into screen sharing. Sorry about that, Duncan. I just lost it.
No,
okay, there we go.
Please,
We're back. We're back. Go ahead.
The picture of me throwing the high side kick. God, that was in Delaware. I was 40-something years old. I was just playing around that day.
What about the one in the helmet?
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Okay, no problem.
I was barely
Sorry.
I was barely 12 years old. That was, to my memory, my first deployment to Southeast Asia in Project Talent, which moved forward to become, Project Super Soldier, which it was never called Super Soldier. We were always called Augments. We were always called Augments. Augment, Alpha Augment, Delta Augment, Theta Augment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's what we were called. We were never called Super Soldiers. So the people that grabbed hold of that and took it and ran with it, yeah, that's fine, run with it, but I don't go with it. Okay. I was Omega.
What was Phoenix program? Was that part of Phoenix program in Vietnam?
Maybe you could call it an offshoot or a fringe. The Phoenix program was an assassination unit.
Oh.
Nothing more. Phoenix people were sent out to assassinate certain people, whether they were Chinese, Russian, Cambodian, North Vietnamese, South Vietnamese, et cetera, They were sent out. At that time, they were considered true Manchurians. One job, boom, come home. That's it. Now, if you lived a week after that, who knows? But in that picture, I was Omega 0197. I was an Omega unit. And
what does that mean for people?
Omega is last resort.
Oh, I see.
It's the Greek alphabet. It runs from Alpha to Omega.
Okay.
Omega, Alpha the beginning, Omega the ending. An Omega unit meant they'd done everything else and could not achieve system goal.
Okay.
And then the Omega. That was me.
So what then were what was that final option then that Omega would provide?
My Omega unit at this time during 1972 was sent in to do rescue operations. I was bringing POWs back out of Cambodia, North Vietnam, literally all the way in next to the Chinese border. And these were people that have military information that our side could not afford for any of those sides to get their hands on.
Got it.
Because I was extremely, you got to understand, I was augmented.
Right.
I had chips. I still have chips. I was I was fast beyond anyone's wildest dreams. I mean, a 20-mile run nonstop to me was nothing. It meant nothing. And then I would find the person, cut them loose, tap them on the shoulder. You come with me, and I would lead them back into positive territory and wait for pickup. That's simple. That was my job. That was my job during that phase.
Right.
My job went much further as I got older and older.
So you're saying at 12 years old, you were doing Omega operations?
That is correct.
Whoa. That's pretty heavy.
That is correct.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. I even know the person who took that picture.
Yeah. Wow. Do you remember it being taken?
I remember hearing my name called Omega 1, and I slightly turned, snap. And this guy, and what this is going to do is dovetail into Lisa and Pat's question that they want to get into a little bit later.
I can find
it dovetails into that. Because this guy's name was Jack, and he's from Australia. He worked at a Pine Gap. Pine Gap, Australia, is nothing more than an NSA facility in Australia. Listen, boys and girls, we own Australia, okay? Get used to it. The United States owns Australia.
Not Britain anymore, huh?
Britain owns us.
Well,
they
that's
always
true.
have.
There you have. There you have.
They always have.
Yeah. That's why like 60% of our taxes that we pay goes to England, and then 40% of that goes to the Vatican.
Well,
you know,
listen, understand this. Where is the IRS? Where is their corporate headquarters located? Does anybody know?
I would think that it's City of London.
No. San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Or Puerto Rico, sure. Would have to
San Juan, Puerto Rico. A U.S. territory, which is exempt from all federal laws of the United States.
Right. So who is this, Lisa, and who else you're looking for? I'm going to just call out.
Lisa and Pat. It could be Pat, could be Lisa. They had a story. She contacted me a couple of days ago. She tossed this out. It's funny as heck. I mean, you know, I can't. Well, she brought it up. I'd totally forgotten about it. But
if you're in the live chat, guys, you have to go into the live chat. If you're just viewing, I won't see any. You won't be able to post questions. So go into the live chat. If Lisa and Pat are out there in the viewing audience there, could you go into the live chat and let us know you're there? I want to just let everybody know that you can ask Duncan questions. Please put them in all capital letters so we know that they're questions versus your regular comments. If you have a question for Duncan regarding what he's talking about and what's going on right now, and I guess, Duncan, what I want to know is, okay, so you made the decision, you didn't tell us what your decision was, but you made the decision. I know what your decision is.
I know, you know.
Yeah.
My decision was very verbal. I fight for the side of the human race to survive.
Right.
I made that vow all those years ago, and I stand by it.
Right. So what can people do? What can the regular human do?
Use some common sense. You know, there is such a thing as cognitive dissonance, which, God, I wish she was back. I wish she was back out here. She is so much smarter on some of this stuff than I am. When it comes to me and Susan, okay, it's kind of like she's the laser pointer, I'm the bullet.
Right.
Okay.
You guys work really beautifully together. I just love how you two work together. Really do.
We do. You know, we argue, we fight, we throw things at each other, but yet, you know, we love we totally love each other, and it's just, I could not ever think of living a day without her being right beside me.
Yeah, I couldn't either, the way I see you two and how you are together, and you're just so beautiful. And, you know, we just have a great time when we're together. So we just have some great energy. It's really good. But I have some, keep going.
Just to toss this out, we haven't spent except one day apart in almost 7 years.
Yeah.
7 years.
7 years. Congratulations.
7 years. We've been together every day except one.
We have some questions, so let me know when you're ready to shoot them off.
Yeah, go for it.
Tell us about Atlas.
As long as you give me the chance to do Lisa's funny point.
Yeah,
Just give me the, okay.
You can do it, but I'm trying to look for them, and I haven't seen them in here unless they're going by some
It
other
doesn't
name.
matter. I'll
Okay.
do it anyway. They'll
Okay.
pick it up later.
Okay.
Go ahead and toss questions. I'm good.
Okay, we have Mark ask.
I'm still sober. Okay.
You're still sober. Okay. I'm not sure
I'm
about
still
some
sober.
of the other. We have someone asking about, he says, tell us about Atlas, Duncan.
All I know is what I've seen online concerning Atlas, and I don't just look at one resource.
Okay.
Not only do I do NASA or Facebook or on and on, I look at every link there is to it, to every source. I don't look at one source. When it showed me the energy map of Atlas, it showed it burning green as it came close to the Earth. Green denotes copper. That's commonly known. Any welder out there will know. You start heating up copper, it's going to burn green. My father-in-law was a welder. Copper is the alchemic symbol of communication. So when that comet comes close and starts burning a green tail, I think everyone can expect some kind of esoteric communication. Now, take that as you will. It may mean a dream to some, a vision to others, so on and so forth. But the cosmos is our link in to what is beyond us. So pay very close attention to it.
Should we meditate when it comes in? What should we be doing? Focusing on it? Just paying attention, acknowledging it?
Yeah, just look at it. Just look at it and open up to it. If it has a message for you, you'll get it. Believe me, you'll get it.
Well, it's not a comet then, is it?
No, it's an asteroid. It's a big rock. It's a big rock, mostly made out of copper ore. And when it comes close enough to the sun and the Earth, and it heats up, it starts giving off the greenish tail.
Right, but
that's just the way it works.
But is there a base on that asteroid? Are there bases?
The basis on that is ancient cosmology and let's just say history. The Hopi have talked about this for hundreds and hundreds of years. So I take what the Hopi said and I take it with that grain of salt and I look at it from a totally scientific point of view. I don't have a degree in science. Anything, my whole college life was political science and computer math. I'm a math whiz. Please, people, don't tell anybody because I get texts and emails. Can you figure this math problem out for my teenager who is in algebra? No, I can't. Sorry. No, don't do that. Okay.
Okay.
I passed calculus with straight A's, but don't worry about that. And copper is the universal symbol for communication. That is the alchemic symbol for communication. Like the red king is the number one symbol in alchemy for transformation. If you want to transform one thing, one metal into another, or one subject to another, you have to go through the red king.
Okay.
So when you see the green comet, understand it is here to give you a message. To some of us, it's going to be a big message. To some of us, it's not going to be shit. It's not going to mean anything.
Okay,
and everywhere there in between.
Let's move on to another question. We have, is the Treasury, Enrico was bankrupted. Would you know that?
In Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Of course, it's been bankrupt for a long time.
Yes. Okay.
We've
Let's
been
get some other
operating
questions in
on
here.
bankrupt fiat currency for, my God, what, 10 years? I was in the
Okay.
stock market for
Right.
years.
Yeah. Okay. Are we going to see forced vaccinations by our government along with martial law?
They're going to try.
They're
Now,
gonna try.
here, I've been waiting for that one. Here's where it gets very tricky. If, and I do mean a very big if, enough people stand up with one voice, get off your knees and stand up and say no, they will push it back.
Everybody's on their knees in the pews on Sunday. I mean,
get out of your damn pews. Get out of your damn pews. God don't want you for an angel. I'm sorry. That just don't happen. I wrote that in my first book. Look, get over yourselves. Okay? As an individual, for the most part, we ain't nothing special. But what we do is we can stand up with one voice. Each individual as a son, as our soul. And when we speak and act as one, we can explode this freaking universe. And we can change everything in the blink of an eye. But we have to do that. A handful in this state, 100 in this state, 15, 20 in this state is not going to do squat. It's not going to do anything.
Well, recently, Cobra organized a global meditation. It was well over 1 million people meditating to end the coronavirus, and I don't know what the final numbers were, but it seemed like it was very significant. But I mean, group mass meditation is very powerful too. I mean, look, at 1 million people meditating, isn't this what you were trained to do in Vietnam, right?
Yes.
You can imagine 1 million of you doing that? What the hell could happen, right?
Exactly. No, look, exactly. And when I say get off your knees, please, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, P.T. Barnum, don't think that I'm saying don't pray.
Yeah.
I pray every day. A prayer is a petition to something higher than you to hear your voice. Okay? That's what a prayer is. When I sling a spell, when I write it out, I petition, I ask, I beg certain powers to help me in this spell to aid this person or this group or this intention. It's the same thing. A prayer is asking. A spell is done in a three-form format. You ask for aid, whether it's earth, fire, air, water. Well, you put up on the picture where you said I'm a wizard. That's exactly right. Wizards, in most cases, rely on the four elements for their power.
Okay.
So what you said is absolutely correct. I am considered a wizard. I rely upon the elements, earth, fire, air, and water. I use the elements. So I ask, I implore one or two of those elements to aid me in what I am trying to accomplish.
Okay, so there's
like
you're saying, like as in candle magic, things like that.
Exactly. It's the same thing. Candle magic has its own power of its own, depending upon the color, so on and so forth. But it gets really complicated.
Yeah.
I like things to be the simpler, the better. I don't like things to go wrong.
Right.
The more simpler you can keep things, the less chances are of things going wrong.
interesting. That's a very loaded statement. I'd love to go into that more, but I'd like to take some more questions from our live chat viewers.
Go for it.
So let's see. Okay, so once we decide which side, where do we go? I don't know if we have to decide because you weren't in the program. I think it's just that he was referring to himself. Duncan, is that correct?
Every individual has to decide.
Okay. Well,
I was prepared for this question.
Okay, good.
Because I knew the way this was going.
Mm-hmm.
How many people have played Frogger?
Frogger?
Yeah, the Atari game where you try to get the frog across the highway with all the cars coming.
I only played Kaboom.
Yeah, most people don't even remember that damn game.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. Dating ourselves.
Okay, sorry, I'm not old. What I remember about Frogger is 99 times out of 100, the frog got squished in the middle of the road. There ain't no middle of the road.
Oh, gotcha.
You choose left or right.
Okay.
And once you choose, there is no going back. That's it. There's no going back. Everybody on the face of this planet is going to be forced to choose, whether it's during the 3 days of darkness, which will come.
Mm-hmm.
That will come. And I'm not talking about what Q's saying, 3 days of darkness, da-da-da. No. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about 3 days where the sun don't shine.
Yeah.
And the veil is open. And you're going to have to deal with people from your past and ghosts and spirits and demons and et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be 3 days of pure hell on earth.
Well, why do we have to do that? And why is it only 3 days?
Because the universe says so.
Okay, just a little note here. I wanted to also give a shout out to Audrey Ewis at Ascension Radio for simulcasting this interview. Audrey, you've been patiently standing by there, and I just want to tell you we appreciate you also simulcasting this. We are doing this as a simulcast. It's not only live streaming on YouTube, but it's simulcasting on Ascension Radio. So I want to thank Audrey for doing that as well. We still have some questions to keep moving forward with.
No, absolutely. Audrey, hey, boy. How you doing?
Audrey's there. I'm not quite sure if he's on. Are you there, Audrey? He'll come back on when he can. Okay, another question is, what happens with Canada? Do we join the U.S.?
Ask me that again.
What happens with Canada? Do we join the U.S.?
No. That is part of what was propagated many years ago by George Bush Sr. Joining Canada, the United States, and Mexico into one country. That is a UN agenda, to where they break it up into sections. Each section has a governor. No, don't.
Okay.
Do not.
Okay, so another question is, what is phase 2 of the virus thing, and when does it start?
Phase 2 of the virus can start whenever they decide they need it to start. That's all I can give you on a time frame. Phase 2 of the virus is when people actually do start dying in the streets. You will see a mass die-off or a culling of the population. This is the New World Order agenda. They need at least 50% of the population to die off.
And that's because they want to control the remainder population on the planet.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
I'm not quite sure why they're asking you this. They're asking what Mars' atmosphere are really like. Have you been to Mars?
I can answer that.
Okay.
It's breathable. Mm-hmm. If you have bad lungs or asthma, you're not going to survive. If you have strong lungs, you will survive for a minimal period of time.
Okay. I'm looking for capital. Okay. Okay. What's happened with the magnetosphere the other day?
I saw that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We are, and I've talked about this, I think, with you a few years ago, where I said that our solar system, you see, our solar system travels around everything. It travels around our galaxy, right? That during certain phases, every so many hundreds of thousands of years, we go through this gaseous cloud. That cloud, as it was explained to me, is a null void, which means all the veils are dropped. Now, a veil, let me explain this very briefly. A veil is nothing more than an electromagnetic frequency. That's what separates the different layers of realities. It's what separates the reality that you wake up every morning and function in, to the spirit realm, to a realm higher than that, to a realm higher than that, so on and so forth. That cloud is a null void. It lets all of these realms function at the exact same time in the exact same place. Think back to your Bible in the book of the Apocalypse or the book of the Revelations, where it talks about at the end of days, men's hearts will fail them because of sights and sounds that they hear. That's the null void. We operate for a short period of time without any veil. Our planet, our consciousness will be in the spirit world, while the spirit world is now in ours. And it's going to freak the hell out of people.
Do you know when that's going to happen?
I think it's going to be very damn soon, because we're moving into it.
Is this also called the photon belt, or no?
It could be. It could be. This is also what in Catholic prophecy is called the 3 days of darkness.
All right.
Anybody can look, you can look that up. It's called the 3 days of darkness. It's where the veil is ripped, it's torn. So push all that verbiage aside and just imagine another frequency coming in.
Okay.
That is allowing two separate worlds to join together. Our world, the spirit world, the world of the dead, the ghost world, whatever you want to call it.
Right. Well, some people can do that. I mean, there's some really talented mediums out there.
Yes.
I know this one woman. I know this one woman who had to get an alarm system in her house because there was so many spirits that would show up because they knew that their loved one would have an appointment with her the next day, and they were so anxious to try to communicate. And she just, she had to be able to, she was always clearing the energy, saging and everything, and she would have to. And for her, she couldn't sometimes even tell. She was so good in tune with this, Duncan, that she didn't always know the difference between a real person and a spirit who was there, because she was so able to. That's really, but everybody's going to have that, you're saying.
You are absolutely correct. Wow. And people like that, people like you, people like me, Susan, who deal with rinsing the veil. We see things every day of things that we think, you don't belong here. Keep moving. Right. We see this stuff. Right. But to John Q. Lily White public, right, who doesn't even believe in this stuff, they're going to get their shit chilled, pardon my expression. Right. They're literally going to get their shit chilled. And they're going to be standing there going, da, 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 for hours, not knowing what to do, what to say. That's what we're looking at.
So someone says, I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
No,
someone says
go ahead.
our electronic donut floaty around the planet.
Say that again?
Oh, there's so many questions. I'm going to throw a couple things out there. So someone's talking about the solar flash. Someone else is asking about, is this space-time ripping? Is that what this means?
Mm-hmm.
Veil. Is that what that means?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Someone is asking, wow.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So does the Hopi prophecy happen before the 3 days? Do you know?
I have no clue. I have no idea. You have so many different prophecies by so many different cultures that relate to the exact same thing. Okay.
Okay.
And the timing, it's the timing on everything that no one can get right.
Right. The toroidal donut. Well, I think it isn't the timing. Well, I think the timing comes from source ultimately for this galactic pulse or whatever. But isn't it also source gets its cue from humanity itself?
It does. It does.
Yeah. So there's a relationship. It's a function.
Whatever we call it, source, God, the universe, the cosmic consciousness, or whatever. You got to have just a little bit of trust here. And believe me, trust is something that is extremely hard for me to come by. I trust only a handful of people in my entire circle. But I do, believe it or not, strike me dead by lightning, I do trust the universe. Because there is a great cosmic consciousness. And every time I have tried to step out of that boundary and do something on my own, I've been smacked down on my ass. So I have learned to follow it.
Okay, let me look at some more questions here. Let me just ask you about the morphogenic field. That is the field of manifestation. What can we do? Why don't you talk about that?
The morphogenic field is that field that is around each and every one of us as an individual. That is what some people call the aura. Okay? Stop looking at it in terms of pretty lights. It's not. That is the energetic field that we create from our heart. That's why it's different colors and different patterns. It's generated from each and every individual's heart. Now, the earth generates its own morphic field based on the multiple populations given at that time. So let's say we have a population of 12 billion people. Okay, I'm just throwing a number out there. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just throwing a number out there. So let's say 8 million of those 12 is generating a gold or a silver morphic field. Then the planet itself will generate a gold or silver field. If 8 of those 12 million are generating a black morphic field, the planet itself would generate a black morphic field. That's how this works.
Okay.
We feed from the earth, and the earth feeds from us.
So the Schumann frequency then is kind of the aggregate of those frequencies. Is that correct? It's not just the planet, but it's
that is correct.
It's the planet in response to us. So the planet can ascend when humanity ascends. Is that, or is it the other way around? Is the planet helping humanity ascend?
It has to happen together. There is no, to my knowledge, there is no morphic. What you just said.
Morphogenic,
field, field around the planet that is going to, as most people say, ascend or move upward. If the majority of the inhabitants on said planet is operating in the black, it's not going to happen. It is a cohabitant situation.
Right. It's a
We are connected to the earth. But remember this as well. We are also connected to the sun. We are also connected to Saturn and Jupiter and all the other planets. We're all connected. So to do what everybody is calling an ascension, there has to be the majority consensus in that conjunction that goes with it. If not, it stays where it's at.
But isn't that also the field of manifestation, though? I mean, that is the field.
Yes.
So it's very complicated. I really would love to just do a whole interview about this morphogenic field. And I know that this is something that you know, people in the programs have learned to manipulate for purposes. Yeah.
We deal with, every time Susan and I work on someone energetically, whether we do an exorcism or not. And by the way, everybody, I am an ordained lay exorcist, and I'm also a certified minister. I have my certification, finally. So, bye. Now, when we work on someone energetically, that is the absolute first thing we look at is their morphogenic shield. We just call it their shield. That is what we look at. Where are the holes? How does it spin? How does it rock? What are they doing? What is their fault patterns? And this can, and you work with us. It can go on and on and on for an hour before we ever start to work on the person. We have to ascertain exactly where this person is in that moment. And then we try to change that field around that person. And what happens is I pull the darkness into a selenite crystal that is in my left hand, but it doesn't all go into the crystal. A good portion does go into me. Now, I have to get rid of it later on. That's up to me. How I get rid of it, is how I get rid of it. But we have to help that person right then, right there, that is on the table. So that is an individual morphic shield. So what I'd like everybody to imagine is let me tie this in, and then we'll get back to another question. Okay. Imagine the hysteria, all right, that is going on right now with COVID-19. All these people, all these millions of people that are terrified of something that ain't even fucking real. Can you imagine what their morphic shields look like right now? Chaos. It's chaos.
And they're feeding off of us.
The chaos magicians are absolutely feeding off of this. Now, what they're going to do with it as of right now, I don't know. I have not got a glimmer of anything. I do think I will in a day or two. But as of right now, I don't even have a glimmer of what they're going to do with it. That is energy. That is dark energy, and they will use it.
I have a little surprise for you.
Oh.
Duncan's like, I don't like surprises. No,
I don't even do birthdays, okay?
No, I have the video. We took when we were down there. You were working on someone, remember?
Yeah.
I wanted, if you want to talk about it a little bit, you want me to play that?
Yeah, go ahead. That was Catalina. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let me move this out of the way here so you can see this. We'll play. So I'm not going to put the sound on. So you can talk about what you're doing here.
Here I'm scanning brain frequency, left and right hemisphere. the quartz crystal on a string will rock, give me a pushback. There I'm checking to see if the third eye is open or closed. You see it's circling there. That is the crown. It's open. That means she is connected to the universe, God, higher self. Damn, I was big then, wasn't I?
Yep.
Okay, what I'm doing
no,
right
I mean
here.
your arms. No, I mean your arms, your biceps. That's what I mean.
No,
sorry, that's not. I see that wasn't what you meant. Never mind.
What I'm doing there is I'm generating what is called a static charge between two quartz crystals. And that charge is going to center pretty much right in the center of her brain, right in, I cannot pronounce the name of it. That's
Let me go a little bit
separates
forward.
the left and right hemisphere. Okay, there, what I'm doing here is I'm balancing the left and right side. What we need to do here is to get a balance as much as possible before going down to in the body into finding out what the problem is in here.
Okay.
So that this is just a balancing.
Okay. Let me move ahead a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. And now let's see.
Okay, this is the first phase. I have a selenite crystal in my left hand. I'm over the solar plexus. That is me pulling the emotional, all the emotions out of Catalina. The lady's name's Catalina, by the way.
Okay, okay. And she did agree, just so everyone knows, she did agree to be on.
She agreed, she agreed. And you see the crystals there, it's flat. Now, that is my scrying crystal. That is my quartz.
Okay.
Which amplifies. See, when you pull out of someone, you create an esoteric hole. You have to fill that back in. It's like digging out a hole and you have to fill it full of concrete.
So what she had was like an energetic attachment. Is that what you pulled out? Or
no.
Was it something? Okay.
No.
Could you explain what causes a hole? What would cause a hole?
The hole is when I pull something out.
Something.
And
right.
So it doesn't matter what it is. Anytime I pull something out of someone, it creates a hole. So what I'm doing right here is I'm filling in that hole, because beforehand what I had done is pulled out all the negative emotions that she had in her solar plexus.
Okay.
The solar plexus is the seat, the house of all our emotions. So I had pulled all those negative emotions out of her, which left a hole. So I had to fill that hole up.
Okay.
So I fill it up with complete neutral energy. And we go back, I go back, I recheck. It should spin. If I did my job right, it should spin. Okay. Catalina cannot lay face down because of her lungs. This is why she's laying sideline. This is called sideline. Okay. And I'm going down her lung. Catalina has very bad lungs. She's a jewelry designer.
Okay.
And she comes from a family of jewelry designers. Okay. I pulled from this lady's lungs many times. Okay. So what I'm doing is pulling here is the energetics, the negative energetics of what is in her lungs. So it renders everything in there inert. So she can either cough it up, spit it out, crap it out, whatever her soul and her body decides is the best thing to do. And I go bottom, top, bottom, all the lobes of the lungs. This gets really kind of long, and it goes all the way around. But the thing is, every time you see me pulling in, I'm in pain.
Yeah, you take it on.
This ain't easy. I'm in pain. No. I'm taking her problem into me.
Right.
Now, this is me pushing in. Yeah. And I'm using two hands because I'm getting really tired. Because I remember this day. It was on Sunday.
Oh,
I'd done like 9
sorry.
people that day.
Yeah. And you still had, well, never mind.
I still had 2 more to go after Catalina.
Yeah. You guys worked such long days. It was amazing. It's just, okay, so let's move along and see where we're going here. And you're still pulling that energy out, aren't you?
That's me pulling.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's right hand. That's me pushing in.
Oh, I see. I see.
Left hand is me pulling. Right hand is me pushing.
Pushing in. Okay, filling up the hole or whatever. I see.
Correct. Anytime you pull something out of someone, and then we always check, we double check. We're constantly checking.
Okay.
Anytime you pull something out of someone, you create an esoteric hole. You have to fill that up with neutral energy to where the client's soul does what it wants with it. But you have to reestablish.
So there she is, happier and in much better shape. Yeah. So I was
she
like,
she could breathe. She could breathe after that. That was the main thing. She could breathe.
Yeah. So
you cut out where I knocked the whole quart bottle of Guinness over on the table.
It's probably better. No, but this was, that's why I said I had a surprise for you, because we didn't talk about this ahead of the interview tonight.
No, I love that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, because that's what we're talking about. I mean, you really had to, we videotaped it for this reason. We didn't specifically for this particular interview, but we knew at some point we'd be using it and talking about the work that you would be doing. So this was the perfect opportunity to show exactly what you're doing. And you got to explain what you were doing, which was really wonderful. I think it's really wonderful for people to understand what work Duncan does. And, for people who have even attachments, negative attachments or energetic attachments, emotional pain and all these other things, he's the person to help you. And if someone has put a spell on you, there could be things happening that you are unaware of. You could be completely unaware of people put a black magic spell on somebody. And of course, I had, I've had all kinds of things done on me, as you know.
Yeah,
Duncan.
you have.
And so we have to really protect ourselves. And Duncan's really great. And Duncan, I would hope that we could do like some short educational videos on protecting yourself, because Duncan's given me a lot of advice about making sure that you're protected, especially while you're sleeping, because I would get just terrible things going on while I was sleeping. It just really interrupted my ability to get any rest and peace. Someone has a question. What George Kavas, I can't spell his name, I'm sorry. Kavisalas says about not going to the light after passing through the veil. He says it's a trap. Cavasilis. I'm sorry. Cavasilis. I don't know why I was having trouble.
That little ball-headed geek. No, I don't listen to anything he's got to say.
Yeah. Where does one go to have a session with Duncan? I've actually referred
Houston.
You have to be in Houston. You have to fly to Houston. Unless you want to pay to have him fly to you. But definitely people fly to Duncan in Houston.
No, I've had people send me plane tickets to fly to them. Believe me, I have.
Right. This is important stuff. The Guinness is joint lube. Yeah.
What?
Someone said, our Semper Fi Marine here says the Guinness is joint lube.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. I think I know where the question is going. Do I drink when I do this work past 1 or 2 people? You damn straight. Because it does 2 things, okay? One, it keeps my psyche from shutting down. Because each and every individual psyche has a shutoff valve that protects you when you've done enough. Because not only do I pull things out of people, but I also experience their worst emotions. They go into me. I experience each and every one of them.
Good.
So 9 times out of 10, I go and I bomb it.
Ooh.
I'll bomb it 4 or 5 times in a day when we would work on that many people at a time. I'd bomb it 4 or 5 times. The other alternative is to sit down on the toilet and it comes out that way. So, pick your poison, which is best. I don't know.
Okay, but he also said, where does one go to have a Guinness with Duncan? so Houston. The answer is Houston, folks. Houston. So there's another question, because we did start late, folks. So we are going to go over time a little bit tonight. And when it comes to live streams, it's depending on how the flow of the conversation's going. I mean, I don't mind extending the time a little bit more if Audrey Ewis is okay with that. Audrey, you're welcome to jump in. I know Duncan was trying to shout out and give you a hello over there before, but if you're listening, come on in. Let's see what else is going on there with someone's asking if you still keep in contact with Thomas Sheridan from Ireland.
Thomas Sheridan? Oh, God, every
Sheridan.
day.
Yeah, Sheridan.
Every day, yes.
I'm not reading very good.
Thomas, you see, you understand, Thomas and I have been friends for way over 20 years. And we stay in touch with each other almost every day.
Oh, well, that's good. And if you want to know how to get in contact with Duncan, well, everybody saw his phone number in the beginning of the video.
No shit.
So now everybody's going to give you a call, Duncan. Sorry, I didn't even know I could change it. I really apologize.
No,
I learned something tonight.
Sweetheart,
I learned something tonight.
Honey,
Sorry.
I don't care. But honestly, with my hearing, the easiest way is my email.
Yeah, his email. Let's put it in there if you want to reach Duncan. So to
FINNBARXXX.
Yeah. At email.com.
No, I'm not X-rated. It's just that's what they gave me.
Okay, we got it. I just put it in there.
That'll work.
Yeah, good.
You know my email.
Yeah. And if anyone, has trouble trying to reach Duncan, just email the GoldFish Report, at gmail.com, and I'll pass his contact information to you. So, this is not exactly what I was expecting tonight, but it was very interesting and fascinating. And, I think I still want to try to get a little bit more understanding of this morphogenic field is the field of manifestation, though, isn't it? And and so they're manipulating us. They're manipulating us through this.
They are.
So that we can manifest for them. And I say them. Yes. I'm talking about the shadow controllers who we don't have actual names for, but we know that we're being controlled by somebody who doesn't have our best interest at heart.
Okay, let me back you up just a little bit.
Okay.
When you say we're being controlled, no, we're not being controlled. However, the masses are not being controlled. They're being shown the easy route. Okay? Let me just say that. The master controllers, and I like how you put that because that is actually factual correct. They created this funhouse. Now, when you open that door, at that moment, you decide whether to go in that door or to close it. That's up to each and every individual. I like how you put that. That just opened me right up into this.
Okay.
We all know, we're all born with a knowing of left, right, up, down, right, wrong, dark, light, et cetera, et cetera. We're born knowing this. So when someone says, go through this door, imagine your wildest dreams. And every instinct you have is telling you, do not open that door. But yet you open it anyway and you walk in, then you're under their control. Okay? So this begs the question, who can you blame? Who can that individual blame? They have to blame themselves. Because whether it's left, right, okay, light or dark, it doesn't matter. They have to show their intentions to everyone, and they do. Just watch the media. Just look at the media. And again, this is a good time for me to put this out there. I would like to kick Bill Gates right in the ass with my size 10 steel-toed boot as hard as I can. But I can't because I got to get Dr. Franchi out of the way. So I got to kick him hard enough to shove his ass right on up into Bill Gates before I can make it go through. Okay? That's my feelings about these people. But they put their intentions out there for everyone to see. Yet they create the funhouse and they create the door. It's up to the individual wherever you walk through or wherever you walk away. It's done in this manner so that they don't accumulate the karma. I don't believe in karma the way most people believe in karma. Karma is legitimate. It is real. All right?
Okay.
I'll
Can
look
you
at
go
karma.
into this a little bit? Yeah, I know. Let me just make sure we're okay. Yeah, Audrey, you can come on if you'd like. Duncan wanted to say hello to you. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the live chat here.
Hello, Duncan. How are you?
Audrey, how you doing, Bubba?
I'm doing okay. Things have been...
You don't sound okay.
Well, you're right. Things have been a little rough, but we're hanging in there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do to help you.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah. So I just want to thank you, Audrey, for simulcasting this on Ascension Radio. We're going over time. How are we on time? Are you okay with this?
You guys are fine. You can go on for the next hour if you would like. If this carries on for a fourth, by all means, it's Duncan O'Finian.
Well, I got to do my story for for Pat and Lisa. Okay, I have to do that story.
Okay, we got to do the story. Thanks for stopping by, Audrey, and thanks for simulcasting this on Ascension Radio.
You are
love you, Bubba. Love you, bud.
Love you too. And hello, audience. I'm jumping back in with you.
Okay. Go ahead, Duncan. You have a story you want to share with us?
Oh, God. This is so totally off topic.
It's okay.
Saturday night. Lisa and Pat are good friends of mine. Pat's a chiropractor up in Wisconsin. He and Lisa are really good friends of ours. He's worked on Susan and I. He was the only chiropractor that could adjust my neck to where it actually worked.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that's
he's that
a big
good.
deal. Exactly, that's a big deal.
He is that good. So Pat, brother, I owe you one on this one. And Lisa brought this up a couple of days ago. And this has absolutely nothing to do with what any topics we've had here tonight. Okay, let's just do this thing. Okay. Yeah, I'm on my third bottle of wine. Okay.
Go for it, Duncan.
All right.
We're all you have a captive audience. Go ahead.
Here's the way it was. Awaken Aware 2. All right. I don't remember what year it was. 90. Hell, I don't remember. 90-something. I flew out there, checked in, did everything, did the Friday night interview, did the show, got up Saturday, did what I was obligated to do, the handshakes, the interviews, et cetera, et cetera. Anybody that's ever done talks at these things know that they're exhausting. They are freaking exhausting. So come Saturday evening, I'm done. And I was telling people, I'm going to the bar. I'm going I'm going to borrow this line from a friend of mine, one shot, one bourbon, one beer. Let's get raunchy. Let's get, boogie, that whole thing. I was ready to go into that. George Thorogood. And people kept running up to me who were executives of the entire project, okay? And what happened was Jordan Maxwell was supposed to be on the speakers panel. And he comes out and he's telling me, I can't do it. And so, instantly, Susan and I both, we carry our rocks on a string. We carry our scanning crystals. And, dude, it's a gallbladder. He's like, yes, that's what my doctor says. My gallbladder is full of rock. Well, look, I can ease this up. Let me help you. So it's okay. So I helped him and said, no, go out there and do your show. He says, no, I can't. I want you to take my place. I'm like, are you out of your mind? I'm half drunk, Jordan. You don't want me out on that stage. All right. So things kept going forward. Other people that were involved in the whole conference kept coming out. We need you on stage. We need you on stage. I'm like, are you kidding me? You can't check what comes out of my mouth. Okay, so long story short, I agreed to go out on the stage at the speakers panel Saturday night at Awake and Aware 2. Now, something happened that was totally beyond my comprehension or my knowledge at that time. I had no idea this was going to happen. I felt the entire hotel get ice cold. And I spun around and I looked behind me and I see this little young girl, about 10 years old, surrounded by 12 full-grown adults. It's my godmother. She's using glamour. You're talking about a woman, I don't know how old she is, and don't really care. So I walk up to her. I do the little head bow. Godmother, why are you here? And she looks at me and says, to pull your ass out of the fire when you jump into it. Okay, that works. That's fine. So she walks on, and I'm standing, outside the main conference hall of this hotel. All the doors are open. So she's walking through, and Terry Cassidy has the audacity to say, young miss, may I ask how old you are? And she turns and she looks at her and says, infinity. And she walks on to the back with these 6 adults. Nobody thinks to ask, why does this kid have 6 grown adult women surrounding her? Nobody thinks to ask that question. Okay, so I'm standing out there. I'm drinking scotch. I mean, I'm serious. Normally I drink beer, wine, ale. That's it. I don't drink hard liquor. I'm drinking frickin' scotch, and I hear my name. Fuck me. So I walk up the stairs and, hey, how y'all doing? So I'll sit down. So I'm sitting down to my left. Okay, let me start back. To my right is Dave Corso. To my left is Miriam Delgado. To her left is Richard Dolan. Going down is some Jack Brain, I don't know who it was. The next person down is Mr. NASA. So things get started about 20 minutes into all this stuff. The next thing I know, I'm in a fight with everybody on this damn stage.
Oh, no.
Miriam Delgado got up and says, I can't handle this anymore, and walked off the stage. So I'm looking over at Rich Dolan, who's arguing with me, telling me I don't want my children, my girls, to know what's going on. I said, Richard, 20 years ago, I might have agreed with you, but we're out of time. What do you expect to do? And blah, blah, blah. So that fight's going. So I look over to my right. I've got, what's his name? That boy. He's in prison now.
Sean David Morton.
Sean David Morton. He's over to my right. He's interrupting every freaking thing I said. So I get up and I walk over to him with the microphone. I said, you interrupt me one more time, I'm going to knock your fat ass off this stage. Then I walk back and I sit down and I start trying to answer some questions. Here comes, here you go, Lisa. Here comes David Wilcock. He's got a microphone. He's not on stage. He's in front of the stage on the floor. He demands everyone's attention. And I quote, I am really getting tired of having to come out here and defend my fellow friends and researchers. I am not, you guys need to hear this part really closely. I am not afraid to die for what I believe in and for my work. End quote. So before he can go on, I just take the microphone, turn it off. I get up, I walk off the stage, I throw it down to Bill Ryan and say, I'm out of here. I'm done. You know, you can have my time. You know, I had 20 minutes of time left. That you can have my time. I didn't want to be up there any damn way. I wanted to be sitting at the corner of the bar having fun. You know? Come on, I was single. There's some good-looking women there. I wanted, you know, okay, let's look at it that way. So I start walking out. So here comes Sean David Morton. As I'm walking out, he's mouthing off. So I turn around, flip him off, and all this stuff. So that fade to black, that ends. All right? So this is where Lisa's going, and I know Pat's going. About 2 weeks later, I've got my computer on in my office, and I'm out running around doing jobs and, you know, working on people, mowing my grass. You know, I have a night job, you know, and all this and that. So for whatever reason, I'm able to come walking in that afternoon, and I see this big urgent on my computer screen. And it's going on, you know, within, you know, about 45 minutes to an hour. Carrie Cassidy, David Wilcox. Urgent. Okay. I've spent some time with Wilcox. That's where I learned to call him Wilcox. This guy's an asshat, boys and girls. I'm just being dead serious with you. Don't listen to anything comes out of this blowjob's mouth. Because that's all he's worth.
Okay, this is not the view of the GoldFish Report. I'm just making that clear.
No, this is Duncan O'Fennon. This is Bobby Fannon's voice. Okay. This is me. Okay? This blowjob ain't worth listening to. Anyway,
keep it clean,
this is where it gets tricky.
Keep it clean.
This is where it gets This is where it gets tricky, okay? So she comes on. And here's David bawling his eyes out, boo-hooing. I mean, I'm like, my God, Academy Award, dude, you're good. You know, you need an Oscar, an Academy Award for this crying, saying that if he doesn't get this information out, he's going to be killed in 2 days. And I'm listening, and I'm staying neutral. I always stay neutral, and I'm listening until I hear we have someone who is protecting you. And he comes on and he says, yeah, do you understand, Lass? I'm not even in this galaxy. And I'm like, oh my effing God. That's Jack. I know the guy who's talking. This is agency bullshit. I know the guy who's trying to do the Scottish accent. He's not in another galaxy. He's not even in another effing state. He's in California. He's in the same house as David effing Wilcock. This is why I went total ape caca over all this. I have gotten hundreds of questions as to why I went ape shit over all this. So here's the reason why, boys and girls. It was a show. It was an act. It was a total act between Jack Burns, David Wilcock. Now, whether Terry Cassidy was involved in it or not, I don't know. I will not say, boom, I'm neutral. I don't know. But these two Jack Brains were involved in it. Because what happened 1 week later, David Wilcock released a new book, and it went to the bestsellers list. Bam, snappy finger, just like that. So the moral of this freaking story, and this is where me and Terry Cassidy, we parted ways, and I went after all of them for a couple of months until I was told, stand down, shut up, no more. Look, son, I'm going to hurt you if you say anything more. And she meant it. She meant it. So I just shut up. There you go, Lise. That's the story. Hello?
I'm sorry, that's me.
No, that's fine.
No,
now that's the story. I mean, that's how it started,
right.
All the way from the beginning, with Wilcock coming out, being Mr. Braveheart and all this stuff. You know, I'm willing to die for what I believe. The 2 weeks later, whining, crying, pissing, moaning. They said they're going to kill me if I do this. Blah blah blah. You know, get over yourselves. Get the hell over your damn self. And when I say that, get the hell over yourselves, let me tie all this into what's going on right now. All you people willing to keep your asses locked up in your house, your apartment, your condo, your whatever, because some government agency or some newscast says you have to, because if you're going to save lives by doing it, get over yourselves. Just get over it. Try asking some damn questions once in a while.
Yeah.
Simple question. Look around. Look around. Do you see anybody dying around you? No. Do you see anyone around you coughing hysterically? No. Do you see anyone sneezing crazily? No. Then what's your goddamn fucking problem? Get out of your freaking hobble and be an adult. Be an adult.
We are
Offer your help to those who need it.
Yeah. We are keeping it real with Duncan O'Finian, folks. We are
I'm
live.
sorry. The longer we go, I've tried to hold it back, but you know what? Just get off your freaking lazy asses.
We do need to be asking some questions. We do need to be, I think in general that because people aren't seeing this, massive amount of death and all this, and people are going to, Project Veritas went to one of these hospitals and said, there's nobody there. In fact, some are closing down because people aren't going in to have their procedures. They're not going in for elective, they're not going in for testing. And so a lot of people are getting laid off. So look, they're not going to be able to keep this up for long. So let's just hope that Trump is using this as an opportunity to not only protect us from what they're trying to do to us, but to advance his position, advance the position for Americans being, rescuing the children that have been trafficked. These are kids who are born into this and know no other life. Mostly, as the president said in his last news conference, mostly women and children. And it's really horrific. So, the president, go ahead.
Would absolutely like to see that as an adult that was a child that was born into all of this.
Exactly.
I would like to see that. Yes.
Would you feel a sense of justice? Would it give you a sense of justice, even a small sense of justice?
It would.
Do you think?
It would.
Be healing, wouldn't it? It'd be healing.
Susie and I we've talked about this. Susan and I that's we talk a lot. My gosh, can she talk? I hope she don't hear this. My God, can she talk? 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, we sit up and we talk. That is the one thing that she and I can do that most couples cannot do. We can talk for hours nonstop.
Right.
And that is one of the things that she brought up to me. That would you feel some form of vindication if some of these reports are actually true and they have brought children, young adults out of these facilities into the light, into humanity, et cetera, et cetera? Yes. My answer is yes.
Right.
I would feel some form of vindication.
There's just so many people who have been in these programs, Duncan, as you know, that, are just left, to really kind of deal with reality. Deal with the world that was different from the world they came from. People who come from the programs, learn different kinds of social skills, I think, or let me just say this. The rules might be a little different in terms of relationships than they are in non-program.
Oh, God, you do not know how direct on a statement you just made.
Yeah, I do. I said it.
People that come out of these programs, I know, you know me, you know Susan, so you've got that inside information. People that have came out of these programs, let me just say this. We don't function like normal human beings. Imagine, okay, let me just put this out here this way. As a male, all right? So let me just talk to all the females out there. So, every lady out there, imagine you're dating a guy who went through a lot of what I went through. Okay. We are what is known as hyper-vigilant, which means we see everything around us. We notice everything. We hear every clink of a glass, every clink of a belt buckle, every jingle of change that is in our sphere of existence at that moment. Some of us have been able to tone it down to where we can experience it without it projecting outward. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Susan has helped me with that. She has helped train me to tone that down.
Mm.
Because I know she's there to pick up the backdrop. So she has helped me. So I've got a heads up on most everybody else. So all you ladies out there, imagine going out on a date with somebody like me to where within a 50 feet circumference of us at a table in a nice restaurant, I am hyper vigilant with everything around us. So you're trying to talk to me.
Yeah.
But yet my eyes are constantly darting with every sound, every move, every gesture.
Yeah. You know,
that's okay. That's me. That was us.
Yeah.
Okay. That was us.
They call it the switch. The Marines call it the switch.
Yeah.
So look, you know, and I'm not going to mention any names that, you know, I have we have a mutual friend who has also been in the programs, and I went into New York City with this mutual friend, and it was extremely overwhelming. And I didn't realize, because I'm very aware of everything for different reasons, but I'm not like, but I'm so used to it because I'm I'm part New Yorker. You know what I mean? It's like,
you
know, you sense everybody, but I have a feeling you guys sense it so completely differently. I sense everything that's going on around me. When you learn to be street smart in New York, you're always looking around, but it's not like you have to think about it. It just happens naturally. So you really just get used to it. It's not really like something that you have to pay attention to. You just get used to it. You know, it's just part of surviving in the city. Yeah. But I have a feeling it's so much more intense though for you guys. I think
it is.
It's like on steroids. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The circumference widens. Okay.
Right.
So unless you are with someone who understands it,
right,
like Susan, and can connect with it and become part of it, like she has done, to where we have, in more than one occasion, you know, I've been taking a drink of beer, she's taking a drink of wine, and we stop and we put them down, and I'm going, you go left, I go right. And we have actually been able to stop a confrontation. Because we both sense. Now, whether she is sensing it through me or not, doesn't matter at this point. But it's the fact that we're both able to sense the same thing at the same time.
Right. Yeah, they're
and
talking.
She's able to move one direction. I'm able to get up and move another direction, and we stop the situation.
But you are trained to work in teams, so that comes naturally to you.
Pardon?
It? You are trained to work in teams, so that would come naturally to you, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
We are trained to work in teams.
Right. Someone's calling it the switch for a reason, because it has to. It's an alter personality that pops out. So that's because someone is saying it sounds like PTSD, but our Marine here is saying that that's not what it is. That it could be that as well. So that there's. I don't know what he's exactly referring to, because we're not really talking about that, but I'm not sure how we got on that conversation, but that's part of the program too, though. I mean, and when it comes to the hypervigilance, I don't think that's an alter. I think that you always have that. I don't know.
No, the hypervigilance kind of surrounds the entire intelligence. You just can't get out of that. Now, as far as the PTSD, no, I'm sorry. None of this has anything to do with PTSD. PTSD as a classic classroom definition involves the subject going through a traumatic situation that is not in the moment. That is the definition of classic PTSD. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I was just responding to somebody. Sorry. Yeah, no, PTSD, you definitely, yeah, that's so totally different. Totally different.
No. PTSD is, for me,
yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You re-experience it. Yeah. You relive it. You just don't remember it.
Yeah.
You relive it. Every cell in your body responds with the memory of having gone through it the first time. So it is an absolute reliving of that experience. It's not just a memory, it's a reliving of it. And that makes it very difficult. Yeah.
You are absolutely right, sweetheart.
Yeah.
PTSD for me is not having any knowledge or any memory of me jumping up at 2 o'clock in the morning and grabbing a 10-inch knife, grabbing my wife by the hair and pointing that knife at her throat. Yeah. And we're not talking years ago. We're talking months ago. So, yeah, don't talk to me about PTSD.
Right.
It can hit any of us, especially as combat vets, at any time, anywhere. That's what PTSD does. Because in that moment, I'm seeing someone else. I'm talking to someone else. Yet I've got an 8-inch knife pulled back, pointed at her throat with her hair yanked back. Do you people have any idea what that did to me?
Yeah.
I was damn near comatose for a week. I couldn't look at her for a week. I, honest to God, could not look her in the eye for a week. And then she comes back.
Reality.
That is the reality. Until she finally said, no, you're absolutely right. That is the reality of true PTSD. Until she finally looks at me and says, hi, babe.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll marry you twice on Sunday.
Are you okay?
So I mean, this is the reality of the consequences and effects of the people, the children who started out in these MK Ultra programs and all these subset programs and all these, it is, and I have to say, I mean, I have met and interviewed many of people who like Duncan, and I can say Duncan, definitely has his moments. He definitely has his struggles, but he certainly, he certainly has come a long way.
I was listening.
We're gonna wrap this.
I have absolutely. I have come a long way.
Yeah.
Say hi. Take the phone. Say hi. They're finished.
Hello.
It's okay. Hi, Susan.
Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were listening in the other room, so I just.
Oh, okay. We're wrapping it up.
Okay, good.
We went over time because we started late, so we just we were listening to Duncan
we
telling a story.
caught up a little bit late, so I wasn't.
Okay. Good to see you. Good to see you, dear.
Nice seeing you, but I only got a little portion of it, so I don't want to be on that. No, why don't push on me?
You know what?
No.
It's all dark where you are, so we can't even see you. It's very dark.
That's good, because I'm sunburned, and that's really not. I'd rather like the shadow instead of my awkward, because I wear a cap when I go walking, and you know, running and stuff. So it's just an awkward sunburn.
Susan is so unassuming, but let me tell you, she's an amazing, amazing woman, and she.
No, oh God, no, not at all. No, I don't want any of. No.
I love being in their company. We have such a great time together, don't we? So
no. It's I love talking. Absolutely.
You do. Well, look, it was great to see you, and thanks. You know, you're doing an amazing job taking care of this guy. Keep up the great work.
No, not kidding me. No, he takes care of me.
You're amazing.
Anyways, okay, but I didn't catch. I kind of walked in late and stuff, so I just want to make sure.
It's all good. It's all good. We're gonna wrap this up. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up because we've just been having a great time. And so I think we'll start to wrap this up. And I want to just thank you for helping, get things going and setting things up today. And I wish I had more time to talk to you, but we'll try to catch up soon. Okay.
Well, when we have better lighting, because it's, we're outside. We have this lovely, we're kind of on porch, very natural nature kind of based, very, very low, very low.
Do a recording.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways.
Okay. So we're
nice to hear from you guys.
You too. Thanks for stopping by. So let me just say, thanks to Duncan for, coming on tonight and for answering all these questions that people have and for sharing with us, what sharing with us how you heal people. With that video, I was able to show the video, Susan, from my trip there, and it was really great for everybody to see that. We're done with the Q&A now, folks. So we just want to thank everybody very much for joining us, for those who are viewing and those who have been in our live chat and have yes, she is an angel. She's definitely. We're talking about you, Susan.
No, but there's actually, I mean, I am going to share a lot of other stuff, but there is so much more that we can share too within the whole endeavors of, progressing into something. And I would love to share some of our findings of what we do.
Excellent.
And even the personal experiences and everything, and put that into kind of more focal light and give it a little bit more attention and a little bit more understanding of what goes on. So I would love to engage with that.
Yeah. So what I'll do is we'll do another report.
Better lighting, because I can't, I can't work with this. I cannot work with this.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I screen shared the video I took when we were there. And so without the sound, so Duncan was explaining what he was doing at each phase of the, tree. It was really great. And you probably could have, I didn't know you weren't there actually, but you could definitely.
No, I went to I was in the other room for a little bit, and we were trying to stream it through another device. And then by the time when we got connected and everything, it was, we heard some things, and I opened the door, so we were able to hear but we couldn't hear the other side, and that was our fault there.
Well, let's see, Duncan, we're going to wrap this up now because we've been going for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, so. I know.
Well, kind of.
I know.
So thank you. It was great. Now you guys have to come back and we'll do that video. We'll do a little bit more talking about your healing. People were asking about you in the chat, that you have to go to Houston, or, you could pay to fly them out there, fly them both out there to do their healing on you if you really. And I'm just surprised. I'm so amazed at how you tell me a lot of stories. You never breach confidentiality with your clients ever. The woman who was in the video agreed to do that as an educational video.
And that's not her real name, by the way. That he used another name, so that's why it was kind of like a surname of something else. So
So
then that's why we're pretty safe with all that.
Yeah, and so that's what I wanted to make a point was that you definitely respect confidentiality of your clients. And I was just surprised at how many people call you for your services. I was surprised at how many people need them. Actually, that's what I was surprised about, how many people need them. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It's a lot of crazy stuff out there.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you know.
Well,
it gets, we're in different areas. We're doing, kind of understanding, cross cultures and everything.
Right.
Huh? Oh, sorry. So we're dealing, with everything. There's power within the forces and everything. So you're going to folkloric and everything that you can gravitate. When a culture loses their essence and their own internal power, they're going to go for other things, and then it can get a little bit chaotic. And so when it gets a little bit chaotic, then it gets a little confusing. So I'm going to leave it at that until we have a little bit more time.
Yeah. No, I mean, we can't really get into it now, but we'll definitely have you guys come on and we'll talk about it. I was so, and especially as energy healers, this drains you guys. And I know Duncan talked about that as
light.
well.
Sorry.
Oh, good. The little bit of light came back on.
I know.
So,
that's light we've got.
Sorry, I'm trying to find, this is bad lighting. Oh my gosh, the whole video, what's this?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was not the producer on this. I'm just kidding. I had some stuff in the thing there, so I apologize.
You guys, we can't really see you, but it's okay. We saw you in the beginning, and then of course, the audio definitely improved, so we had some issues with that. I'm sorry that your phone number was showing. There's nothing I could do about it because it went live, but at least everybody knows where to call you, where to reach you if they want to call you for an appointment. So it's like a business phone number. So if he doesn't recognize your number, he's not going to reach. But everyone use Duncan's email, and that's the best way to reach him.
It is. I mean, it's the best way to understand everything. So I absolutely will. Kind of give the accolade to the email. Just email. Email is the best way.
That's good. I'm going to put that in the description section. I have to wait for this to process, and then I'll put that email again in the description section. I did put it in the live chat, so that's good. But I definitely, there's so many things, so many areas we can go into and talk about, but we just have limited time tonight. But I want to thank you both very much for your time, and also thank you to all the viewers. I also want to thank James Borg from Euphoria Chronicles, doing an awesome job in the moderating the chat and taking care of the chat room. James, you're awesome. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. I really appreciate you, buddy. And of course, I want to also thank Audrey Ewis for simulcasting this interview on Ascension Radio. And so, Audrey, thank you very much also for your time. So it's a big production. We want to bring it to our viewers. We want to give our viewers the best we can. And one way you can help support us for that is to, one way you can do that is to go to our website at thegoldfishreport.com, and you can support us with any kind of donation that you like, or you can become a Patreon as well. You can also go to, of course, that email I think is also Duncan's PayPal as well, and he could use some help as well. I mean, we can all use some help right now at this time when everything is shut down and there's nowhere to earn an income anymore. So that would be great. And do what you can, folks. Help people out. Ascension Radio could use it. Euphoria Chronicles. Everybody can use a little help and appreciation for their time. So thank you very much. I just want to say goodbye to Duncan. Duncan, are you there still, or have you checked out?
He can't hear unless I put the phone in, but she's saying goodbye and say, okay. He said, hey, good job.
Okay, great. We'll touch base. We'll touch base tomorrow. Happy Easter, everybody.
Aloha.
Yeah.
Yes, aloha.
Happy Easter to everyone who's celebrating and observing Easter tomorrow, and also happy Passover to people as well who are observing Passover. So hope you all have a wonderful Sunday, folks, and we're done with this broadcast. So thanks for joining us, and we'll touch base later, guys. Okay, we'll do a little debriefing afterwards. So you guys have a great night, and happy Easter to everybody out there. And
thanks, guys.
Okay, so this concludes this edition of the GoldFish Report. Thanks for viewing.
That's him.
And I'm going to stop. I want to thank all of our live chat viewers. Yeah, I want to thank all of our live chat viewers as well. And thank you so much for your questions. Have a good night.